up. See him still sleeping, so I had to shake him up. I kept it too real, I wasn't fake enough. My real life was a headline, your real life got a deadline. My timeline was a hashtag, your timeline just a hate crime. Coming here hot, like pop, back in our phone when he took 5 shots. Too much drive to ride your wave, it's my top and I'm off that lot.
And that, folks, is how you start a season. So, welcome to episode number 72 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast.
Coming to you from
somewhere.
Shady East Allen.
The Far East.
Far East.
Balding Eagle Booster Club World Headquarters.
That's right.
The Far East.
The
Coming from the Far East.
The Far East.
What happened to the helmet alignment? The helmets are all...
Everything is all over the place. We're going to be all over the place today because I can tell you one thing, we're tired.
Yeah. Tired?
Yes, sir?
Since we showed the clip.
Yes.
Yesterday at school, my son talked to his buddy.
Say again, who?
My son.
Yes.
Talked to his son, JJ.
His son, JJ?
Mr. JJ, number 2.
His son?
Speed demon.
And he told my son, I'm going to score a touchdown the first time I touch the ball.
Man, he got a little Elijah the Prophet Fisher in him.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at that.
He was, what is it, what did, what's his name say? He was burned.
Blowtorch.
Blowtorch.
Matt Welch from the
Matt Welch.
American.
We have our own blowtorch.
Yeah, we need a GoFundMe for the man. Put in a vent fan.
You know, we always make fun of James for only bringing a small can of beans, but he has good reason.
That's all it took was a small can.
He knows Nolan. Sorry.
Was that a snort?
We're wearing that out. I know.
No, I'd like to respond, but I can't be on this podcast.
That is behind the paywall.
That's
behind
After
the
Dark.
Okay,
podcast.
sorry.
We got a lot of material that's going to be behind the paywall. Can't wait. It'll be fun.
Thrilling.
All right, man.
Is everybody happy?
Where to begin?
Wait, what?
Tired.
Number is
I've got to wake up.
What number is it?
What? It's 72.
72.
Oh,
72 skidoo.
You got that?
this one's easy.
Yeah.
For an old dog, Will Sherman.
Will Sherman, who is now with the New England Patriots,
Wow.
got drafted by the New England Patriots. Hopefully he makes the cut, which is coming up, I guess, this week.
This week.
Oh, wow.
Hard work, Will. Pays off, man.
So, congrats to him. And then the current number 72 is a good buddy of ours.
Yep.
He's not half bad.
He'll go far.
He was very funny last night after the, and we're talking about, for those of you who don't know, we're talking about, right tackle NATO and his brother Zena, who is now a sophomore defensive line. But NATO comes out of the facility last night, and I'm not going to say which college, but he was wearing a college shirt that he'd cut the sleeves off of, and he came out. We looked at him like, he goes, "No, this isn't a statement. This isn't a statement." So we did ask him when he was going to commit because NATO has offers to go anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
And he said soon.
He said soon. So y'all stay tuned for that. But yeah, NATO is the current Allen Eagle wearing number 72.
Yeah.
He probably should commit on this podcast.
Well, it's just a lot of pressure.
He should.
We should have him do it on video, and we could insert it in the podcast.
How about on our
Nice.
podcast?
We'll go from 5 to 7 listeners.
He might just do that. That would be awesome. We'll have him come out here and say, NATO, we'll build it up. Bring your
Have an
family.
entourage.
You could do it right here, and we'll get the word out. So anyhow. All right, guys. Day 1 of the Chad Morris era, as far as game days go, started yesterday.
I'm not going up there at 6:50 anymore this year, man.
We only do that once a year.
12 hours of
time
tailgating is pretty
the game
good.
came around, I was done.
Well, and it wouldn't be so bad if we started the season in October.
Yeah.
But when you start the season on August 27th,
But it was rather comfortable.
Yeah, but it still got hot.
yesterday, from my point of view, I'm with Dad. It couldn't have been any better.
Yeah,
Wait, take it back. For August in Texas, it couldn't have been.
It was the
much
best.
better.
Until you got you have to
No,
hang around the
4:30.
griddle.
Breezy, dappled sun.
especially in the morning. It was really nice because it was overcast, partly
Breezy.
cloudy, a breeze. So the temps didn't climb a whole lot till the afternoon kicked in. It got a little warmer.
Yeah.
And like you say, when you're out there all day,
It was only in the low 90s.
I think it was probably breezy like that because Duncanville sucks.
work that in.
Well, we just found that out.
We'll get to that later in this
Plano.
podcast. But
We're
holy
number
moly,
one.
That was ugly. So we're out there all day. Most of us. Some people have to work.
Meeting
for
and
it.
greeting.
We were meeting and greeting. We talked about it this morning at breakfast and even a little bit yesterday. It was nice that things were
Back to
more
normal.
back to normal.
Yeah.
It seemed like more people, having got jabbed, were a little felt better. Well, I'm not going to call it a vaccine.
Got the
because
jabby jab.
I've learned in the last day or two that it's really not a vaccine. So, anyhow, we're not going to.
Let's not go there.
We will, and we're going to do a separate
You
podcast.
looked,
be doing
you looked
religion
into
next.
the abyss. And
Yeah, but it just seemed people were more willing to come out and hang out and
Yeah.
sit down and talk to you and not stand way over yonder and do it.
We had a lot of visitors.
We did have a lot of visitors, and
No
it
Steve
started
and
early.
Joanne even.
What's that?
Steve and Joanne. You know, where were they?
Yeah.
They always stop by.
Now, Sherry did say she saw Scotty in line to get food.
I saw
Yeah, I
Scotty,
saw-
but I
I
didn't.
saw Scotty.
Yeah, I saw
looked up
Scotty.
at top. I didn't see Steve and
Ah,
Joanne.
didn't see them
Maybe not.
DeWitts.
All right, Steve DeWitt. Give us
Mike,
a message.
He,
Let us know
he
what's-
commented on the
what's
Sherman
up with
game,
that?
so maybe they went to that one.
No, he said that they were there. I saw Scotty at the game. He said they were there.
Oh, Scotty said they were there?
Somewhere.
Oh.
Maybe they traded
They're
tickets.
hiding from us.
Could they have moved to a lower bowl?
No, he pointed up, so I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Well, we missed you guys, so just FYI.
Yeah.
But we had lots of other visitors and,
Oh, it was fun.
administrators and the touchdown club president.
No protesters,
Great
thank
stuff.
God.
Superintendent.
Stopped by. Superintendent stopped by. High school principal stopped by. Coach Morris stopped by.
Yep.
We got to meet Coach Branscombe a little bit yesterday.
Most importantly, Chase stopped by.
Yeah.
Brought our
Brownies.
Oh,
brownies.
Chase. I think you said Chase.
I thought
I
you said
thought you
Chase.
said
also.
I thought you
Chase,
said Chase
and
too,
I was
and then I
like,
started
Chase stopped
realizing.
by.
Chase stopped by.
Chase
Shay.
stopped
I was
by.
like, I'm so confused. Who is Chase?
The
Man,
cookie
I know.
lady.
All I can think of is Chase Schubert, and he's too busy building houses and
He's
having
too
babies.
busy
for
making
Yeah.
us.
babies.
Is
Yeah.
he still teaching here, or is he?
No, they're in
Look-
Princeton.
Well, I know that, but is he teaching here, or is he moved up there?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know the answer to that question. Che did stop by, and Che did bring light brown brownies.
And
They were tasty. Thank you.
we got asked by the announcer guy, "Why do y'all have milk?" Well, there you go.
Why?
Well, Alan's here.
Because there's some special
We made
treats
a
in the cooler.
special place in the cooler for a gallon of milk to go with our brownies.
Did you break that out?
Oh yeah.
He
I'm the
did.
only, I had
He-
one glass. Nobody else had any.
I
He,
didn't.
he did make it a
didn't know it was
point
there.
to change the direct, but
You
he
know
messed
what?
up a couple times too.
We'll start with Ian. Ian, I apologize. I don't remember his last name. Met a lot of people yesterday, but
Ian, the announcer guy,
the stadium announcer,
PA
the
guy.
basketball,
It's a long
the PA
last
guy
name.
came by, and we learned all about how he goes about learning how to pronounce everybody's name, which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
His wife has built a program that they type in the name, and he gets the phonetic spelling of it and everything.
He practices.
He practiced, and we challenged him. Thad challenged him on a couple names that were on the roster. He just whipped them right off, and so that was cool. And so we asked him if we wanted
What
him
a
to
concept! He actually does a little work to make us to get do a good
he's
job
awesome.
on the PA.
All right, well that's all over with. We don't have to worry about him anymore.
But we asked him, if he wants constructive criticism, and he said sure. And so we gave it to him, and he fixed it. And it's like, it's great when people will take something and run with it. So Ian, thumbs up to you, bro.
That sounds like a ringing endorsement.
It was.
Oh,
He is an Aggie, which we kind of
Overlooked.
overlooked. But
Yeah, but he's got a cool
exactly.
freaking job
he
too.
does have a cool job. So it's just one of those deals. So he came by, we talked for a while. The old coach came by. Thad put him on a hypothetical.
He
If
passed.
Hollywood called today and said, "Hey, will you be Tom Cruise's brother in a movie, but it requires you to miss an Allen Eagle football broadcast, what would you do?" He came back with, "I got a call yesterday." And they wanted
Not to be Tom Cruise's
film
twin
today.
brother.
Well, no, not to be his twin brother.
Yeah, they wanted him to go film
And
days
there he
worth of
was.
work. And
So he would not do that. So that
Couldn't
was
do it.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty
So
cool.
anyhow, fun day at the tailgate. Had a
It
good
was.
time. Lots of the kids stopped by.
The other Morrises stopped by.
Oh yeah,
That's right. Alan, Wendy,
Al and Wendy.
Alex, mom and dad,
Parental
Alec
units
Morris,
of Alec.
QB
Morris.
extraordinaire.
That's all right. They don't listen to this podcast anyway.
That's
They
right.
don't. I'm gonna tag him in it just so he does.
There you go. Tag him.
Yeah, tag him.
Our buddy Will stopped by after the game.
Maybe we got to tag several people.
Buddy Will.
Yeah, Will Cockrell.
Yeah.
The 8th grader who coached me up last week.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's now he's working as a ball boy, so that's
Yeah.
why we didn't see him.
He was
Yeah, well,
he was
maybe
pretty
he should have
stoked
got
about
a
it.
whiteboard and gone down there on the field.
I'm telling you, he could.
But he was there as well. So
Out
lots
of the mouth of
folks,
babes.
Thank you.
You know.
Lots of things going
Thanks for
on.
calling me babe.
Did y'all make mention last week after we had met him? Hey, he had made the statement. Yeah, I've been in this scheme for several years now.
Did you listen to the podcast?
I don't remember if I heard it or not.
The answer is no, we did not. But yes, he did say that. That was pretty good.
My brain doesn't work.
David made us lunch.
Yes, on some fancy
Man.
schmancy croissant rolls.
Yeah, y'all would have been proud of us. We kind of raised our. It's like we were
Man.
eating at a fancy French
We were
restaurant.
bougie.
Pinky's up.
Bougie.
Some what was it? Grilled chicken salad.
Grilled chicken salad.
It was really good.
Yeah,
on
it was really
croissants.
good.
And then Mr. Nolan brought the flat iron.
Then we ate watermelon balls in between.
A lot of them.
You did.
You just held them in your mouth.
Squishy cold balls.
I told you, folks, we're all over the place this week. But Nolan brought the big grill. We made brisket burgers.
Oh,
Brisket burgers.
That was so
Really
wonderful.
good.
God,
Thank you, Nolan.
if y'all never had them, you need to hook up with
So
my boy
tasty.
Nolan.
Nolan Schrader
Brisket
Catering.
fat renders better. It's on a different level.
Dad bod burgers.
And so then we went into the game.
Oh, yeah, the game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's
In
talk
the
about
ticket
that.
situation.
What a joke.
The line to get in, at least at the corner where we typically get in, was wrapped around almost to the athletic facility.
Yep.
And I
When
was
I
just like,
went in-
I ain't going in that door.
No.
So we went to the center of the stadium and went in the front door, basically, and it didn't take near as long. But, oh, my word. Bless those people's hearts that are having to do
Well,
that.
and I talked to one of the security guards, you know, when we, at
Yeah.
halftime, when we,
Here's a public service announcement coming. Go
Screenshot
ahead.
it.
do not, when you come up to the stadium, take your phone off Wi-Fi. Don't have it try and connect to Wi-Fi. Just let it use cellular data.
Well,
Or
the-
screenshot
well,
it.
the other thing is,
Or
dude, like I did,
screenshot it.
I downloaded my passes into a folder.
yeah.
And so all you got to do is pull them up. Don't try to connect to the Wi-Fi when you're standing there in line to do it, because everybody's trying to
We
do
had
that.
a person, a family right in front of us when we were trying to come in, and they were just, I mean, and you could see it just
Yeah, do it.
spinning,
Circle of
spinning,
death,
and it's
huh?
like going,
Yeah,
ours
you're
are
not
up.
gonna
Can
get
we just
anything
go on? And they're
around
like,
that
oh,
stadium.
yeah,
Just screenshot it and put it in your
Yeah,
photos.
screenshot
Yeah,
it,
we
put
just
it in
helped like
photos.
37 people to get in the stadium faster.
Yeah, it's easy. And it makes it easier on the people trying to get you in the stadium and it'll get
No.
you.
I mean, I
Public service
get why we're
announcement.
going this route, but I
For
mean,
those
it's
37.
Hey,
We
Just got to get
when
used
we
to
left
it.
last night. We left out the gate that we usually go in.
Yep.
Right there at the end.
Yep.
And the same lady was there.
Yep.
Checking. You know,
We need to
just-
get
With
her
the gray
name,
spiky
She,
hair.
she's great.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's great. And she said, we asked about the ticket problem. She goes, yeah, we just started letting people go.
Oh.
We look at their ticket and just, but she goes, I did catch somebody with a ticket from July. I went, she said,
That's pretty funny. So, but it's easy, folks. Just screenshot your ticket, put it in a folder, do something other than
Got it.
try to log in to get it at that point. It save you time. It'll save everybody else time. It'll
Those
be much
outside the stadium sweating.
easier. Yeah. So here we go. Chad Morris era starts. We went to scrimmage last week against Hebron, so we saw a little bit. Really don't know what to expect though. Allen loses the coin toss.
I figured we were going to lose the game right there.
That's not a good omen typically.
No.
And so, and I don't know if everybody else heard this, because you could pick it up on the ref's mic. Because he turned to Allen, and you know, because Plano East said, we'll defer it. And so they turned to Allen, and one of the Allen captain says, we'll kick. And the official goes, "No, you want to receive."
Yeah, he put his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, you want to receive that ball.
I didn't hear that, but I could tell that the guy looked confused.
He did.
You know,
And
He
'cause
pulled a
said
Dak
that,
Prescott.
and then one of the other captains turned and looked at him like, and then the official straightened it out. And I was
Which
just
side would you like to
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I looked at Alan and I was like, "Oh no, we lost the thing." Now they
We
about
had
said they
a-
were going to kick,
Moment.
and I'm glad they did. But then the game starts, and I've never seen this before. Plano East kicks off.
Delay a game.
Delay a game on a kickoff.
what was that?
You get 25 seconds to kick the ball
Oh, okay.
after they blow the
after
ball
they blow the
live?
whistle, and they just
People,
They were
dilly-dally
lollygagging.
around.
What we got here?
Piddle
A bunch
did.
of
And the thing
lollygagging.
was, he kicked it through the end zone on the
Yeah.
first kick.
Yeah.
Mark it
beastie.
10 yards back.
And then the second, well, you saw at the
go
first
ahead.
of the podcast what happened when you kick it
You
short.
kick it again. You give the ball to Jalen Jenkins.
It could have been more better.
The seas
Unbelievable.
parted.
Special teams did their job.
Yes, they did.
And just
Blowtorch.
all of a sudden,
Something like that happened.
I think you just blew out
that
the
fire
microphone.
truck just went through. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost a couple of our listeners.
Yeah, we did. And their car going up.
My ears are ringing.
And from our angle, you could see the sea part. It was like
Yeah.
Moses
Yeah,
parting
Moses
the
right there.
Red
Charlton
Sea.
Heston.
Here's the dry land, brother.
Well, he took about a 37-degree angle off to the side.
Well, because he was headed left.
Sure, it wasn't 37.5.
And
Could have
I was
been.
screaming. And this,
People
I don't know if you heard it on that video. I don't know if it's like, "Come back to the middle." He made one hop to the middle, and then he just outran everybody.
His vision all night was incredible.
Yeah,
We will talk about Mr. Jenkins quite a bit over
Patient.
the course of this season.
Yeah.
Did I just hear that word coming out of his mouth?
yes.
What'd he say?
Patience.
Wow. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't understand.
I'm a doctor.
Not a proctologist, though. He's
So, 14 seconds into the game.
Yeah, he's pretty slow.
Which was
100,
that?
100
That was
yards
so
in
funny.
14 seconds.
Did y'all hear the
Many.
student section? Y'all didn't hear?
No.
They were yelling, 14 seconds.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, Alan was like, "Man, he's slow. 14 seconds? He didn't even run 100 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it looks faster
Yeah.
during the game, but, obviously he's slow.
When
Yeah.
you got to count for how many seconds of hang time on the kickoff?
Well, the
Well,
dog
The clock
doesn't
doesn't
start
start
till he
until it
catches it.
touches.
And he
Oh,
kind of
okay, well, he
bobbled
ran a
it.
9.7 then.
There you go.
And
So
he
7-0.
Then he went.
And Alan kicks off, and for the life of me, I will never understand this. And we do it we talk about it every year. And I wish a coach would come on here and
Pooch,
explain it
pooch,
to us.
pooch.
I don't know. I don't get
They
that.
pooch the kickoff. And so you give the ball to Plano on the 35-yard line.
The first one
When
was
you-
the 25, though.
The first one?
Was
Mhm.
it-
Pooch
Kicked it
was
right
to the 25.
Yeah.
Then after
My
that, it
whole
was way
point
short.
is, you have a
It's-
kicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do it, Mark, because the coaches are saying, we know that one of these pooches is going to be a fumble.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh my God!
I was gonna
Is
say
that
what?
foreshadowing?
Foreshadowing.
What a prescient! Would this
came
be
out
a
to the
great time to
positive to
insert
us.
a clip?
Oh, we'll get to that. 'Cause it's
It was
Actually,
like it was like
almost
Nolan's
two.
dating theory.
Yeah.
You ask 100 girls out on a date, eventually you're going to get one to say yes.
Yeah, be
no, that
careful.
would be you.
Yeah, I was trying to say that's probably no one there.
He didn't even know what to say about that either.
It's in my line
I'm
of sight.
telling
I
you, I can't wait till this thing's behind a paywall.
Lumberjack pride, baby.
Oh, that was funny thing. So 7-0 kickoff, Plano East. You know, and what we were excited about at the scrimmage was the defense. And so
Last week.
Here we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
last week. Well, we were excited again too.
That
'cause
was a scrimmage.
I was. Never mind.
you saw what you saw last week, and you were like pretty excited about. Okay, let's see what you got. And I'll be darned if Plano East just didn't get the ball
4 plays or something like that.
Move right down the road.
right down the field, and you're like, what in the world just happened here? You know, and
We know Mr. Hicks was double teamed.
well, yeah, he was. But actually, they went 14 plays, 75 yards. So it was
That would be
It
matriculated.
was a drive.
Yeah.
And Israel Mahdi, I'm just going to say this right now, that kid can play.
Yeah, he's a heck of a running back.
If y'all remember last year, It's kind of the same theme, a little
he a
bit different this year. He probably is a senior this year. I don't know, but he was all of their offense last year. He had like 197 yards. I don't know if that was total offensive rushing, but he was in on. It seemed like he was in on every play.
He caught every ball. He ran every ball.
Yep. And so, he rushes for 3. Plano East now seems to have a pretty good quarterback.
Devalier.
Yeah, the Frenchman, as we called him, or Cajun Drew.
Wee.
He's 6'5". He's a big kid. And he was able to complete some passes. And but they went 75 yards in 14 plays, and it kind of looked easy. And
It's actually a little disturbing.
next thing you know, it's a tie ball game.
Well, they did a good job of sealing off the corners and getting around the corner. And
Well, there was.
Monty, once he broke around the corner, he had some really good open field running.
Well, I mean, he went to the corner
Some
75-80% of the time, and we still couldn't get
marginal
there.
marginal tackling.
We kept getting pinched in at the first few drives. The outside guys kept getting pinched, and obviously when that happens, when you've got outside zone and so forth, and you get pinched in, well, there's not much left there for that guy to miss. So
We
he
couldn't
just
get to
keeps
the
on
quarterback
going.
last night either, except for a couple times when DJ.
It was tough, and so I was surprised by that, how quick they scored and how easy it seemed. And I was like, okay, this ought to be interesting.
7-7.
So Allen gets the ball back and does what Allen does, and it's the same old story on this offensive side of the ball for these guys. 8 plays, 75 yards. Devin Turner, not Jalen. Jalen had a good series on that. He had a long run. He had a screen pass for 23 yards, which was very nice. And then Turner rushes it in for 25 yards to score the touchdown, and Allen's back up 14-7. You say, okay, back on top, everything's good.
Yeah, go the Jalen play, the screen.
Yep,
I thought that was like a
Innovative.
3rd and 10 or something.
it was.
right?
It was 3rd and 10.
That was nice to see him convert,
Yep.
keep the drive going.
That's very good memory over there, if they had too.
Rain Man.
Rain.
Kmart.
246.
Kmart.
Okay, so let's kick off again, and let's pooch it again, and they get the ball to 33, and
James wears underwear.
they have
from
their
Kmart
3rd
on his
penalty
head.
for 5-yard penalty, false
Kmart.
start. But then they hand it to Monty, and he goes 72 yards.
To the house.
And you're like, oh my gosh. And no one could catch him. And I was like, where's all the speed?
No, we didn't have
saw
that
at
closing
Hebron?
speed. There was no closing speed on him.
I was very confused by that. So you're back to 14-14. You're like, okay. Allen gets the ball, gets 1 first down, and then they have to punt. You're like, uh-oh. The defense hasn't stepped up. And now the offense stalls, and so they punt. And then Plano East gets the ball. And you're like, okay, well, they go 40 yards, and they get, down to the Allen 34, and rather than try a long field goal, they decide to punt. And so they punt it into the end zone.
Yeah.
Allen gets the ball at the 20. Excuse me. Ooh, at the 20-yard line. And this is a question I brought up and nobody knew the answer to. If you kick the ball in the end zone on a kickoff, it comes out to the 25. If you kick the ball in the end zone on a punt, it comes out to the 20.
It's because it's a touchback.
Well, they're both touchbacks.
Yeah, but on punting it
But why?
It's just the rules.
Because I guess maybe from the kickoff standpoint. Well, no, because
It's weird. It just struck me last night. I think it's the first time I ever really thought about it. I was like, why is that?
All right, we need to have a referee on the podcast.
Oh my
we don't.
Do you
Lord.
think that would ever happen?
I bet it would.
We could have him behind a cardboard
Okay.
Yeah.
cover so we couldn't see who
David's
it was.
face on him.
And have a
So we have him sitting here and go, okay,
Eagle head on
I
him.
got a question for you.
Or just have him in silhouette.
What's the
we'll
coach?
call him Deep Throat.
Which coach do you not like to referee for?
What are your worst? Yeah, your worst coach.
Same thing we pulled on Gamble about the referees.
Claude Mathis.
That'd be funny to have him all covered
Well,
up.
let's just say he's not going to ref our games anymore.
Yeah, so you got a touchback. Allen gets the ball. They 13 plays, 80 yards for a touchdown.
It's a good drive.
They retake the
Great
lead.
drive.
And that touchdown run was Mr. Jenkins again. and we talked briefly. I heard it, Nolan say it, and you said it. The vision of that kid and the patience he showed, especially on the sweeps, to let his blockers set up the blocks, and he's fast enough that he doesn't get caught from behind. And just watching him work.
Yeah, step over people.
Oh my gosh, it was smooth.
It wasn't jumping; it was stepping over.
It was just stepping over, and it's like
He's like
it's
butter.
like he had eyes.
He runs
around
like
his head.
butter.
Butter?
Butter?
Like butter.
Smooth.
It's smooth like,
like
butter.
butter on an English muffin.
On a bagel.
It's a
On a
butter.
bagel.
Butter on
It was fun
Would
to
you like
watch.
some lox with that?
Because if you think about last year, I mean, Jordan Johnson took the majority of the
Yeah.
of
Yeah, he
the
ran
snaps,
people
not
over.
all of them, and Jalen had a bunch, but it seems different.
There's
Yeah.
a level of maturity. He's got some additional skills or whatever it is, but he's
Love
a good
watching
one.
him run.
He's a good one.
And we have to back up here for a second because we haven't given any love to the
Definitely
big
not
to the
to me.
big
To
guys up
offensive
front.
line.
Yes.
I don't think Hawkins was really. He wasn't sacked. They did have a fumble back there where technically it was a sack, but as far as the pressure on him
He
last
had
night,
he had a good pocket just about every time.
Yeah.
he did. And when he got out of the pocket,
He could move it.
green.
Yeah, but you know,
Uh-oh.
I was a little concerned with his breakaway speed
Yeah.
until that one play when he went the right side
Yeah.
and he just took off. I went, oh wow, there it
It's
is.
like you think they're going to catch him, and
Yeah, and then he was gone.
You know, and we are cursed by the presence of Kyler Murray
yeah, we are.
because that will always be the comparison. Any quarterback that plays at Allen will be compared to Kyler, and there won't be another Kyler. You know, and Kyler to me was the quickness. I mean, Kyler was fast, but his quickness
Yeah.
is what separated him from everybody else, and not many people have that. And
Have
so
both.
the expectation of anybody else who plays that shouldn't be that you look like Kyler. But Hawkins, he ran well, and as a sophomore in your first start, you know, bless those guys up front that gave him a clean pocket, that gave him time to throw, and then when it was time to run the ball,
And he had his throws were just like right on too. He had a couple that were a little high, a little off, but the rest of them were just like lasers.
And I think he really only made maybe 2 bad decisions on throwing the ball. One was double coverage across the
down near
middle.
the end zone.
Yeah, the safety.
Across the middle. He didn't see the safety kind of lurking and setting him up.
yep,
And then it wasn't that he made a bad decision. He made a late decision because he had him open way early.
Right.
And then when he threw it, it kind of slipped on it. Well, Jordan made the catch on it,
yep.
but that would have been 6. And you know, he's just first game. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying that
Well,
he's,
I think what it's teaching moments.
yeah.
You know, because I guarantee you the coaches were in there this morning with him saying, okay, and all of them, you know, everybody can learn something.
I'd
from
give
that.
him an A for sure.
Yeah, like
No doubt.
Zena came out after the game, you know, the defensive lineman, and said, I had first game jitters. He goes, it affected my play in the first half. You know, and you're like,
And
you've got a kid saying that.
Yeah.
Admitting
See,
that.
that's a humble heart right
Yeah.
there. Admit it.
And you expect that, you know, new program, new schemes, everything, and these kids were excited. And when you get excited, you get jitters, and you over pursue a lot of times, or you get, you know, it's just all in all, I think, you know, it was a great game.
Yeah, so Allen goes up 21-14. Plano East gets the ball back, and what do? This is when they had Mr. Patel against Mr. Sign Shuba down the right side of the field. 61-yard TD pass, and Sign played it pretty well. It was just one of those things where the play got made. You know, Patel's taller, and he was able to separate just enough to grab it.
Out-jockeyed him at the
Yeah, he
end.
did.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hand fighting going on down the sidelines.
And Junior, which is what he likes to be called, tweaked his ankle or something on that.
He did tweak something.
Yeah.
But he came back with no problem. Anyhow,
Yeah.
but then they
Shuba
pulled,
likes to be called
as
Junior.
Allen liked to say this week, he pulled an FSU and they went wide left
Donk.
on the extra point, so it's 21-20 Allen. Allen gets the ball back, goes 7 plays, 67 yards. Hawkins completed a touchdown pass to Brennan Harvey for 8 yards.
That was a That was a slick little play too.
Was that number 38?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Allen goes up 28-20. Plano East gets the ball back. They go 5 plays, 1 yard. They have to punt. And so with
Stop.
3 minutes left in the first half, it's 28-20. Excuse me. And we get to see
That was the beginning.
Kavion Sibley, who Devin Turner tweaked something and didn't play the rest of the game. So he was out. So I hate saying third string, but the back, Kavion Sibley, a sophomore, comes in, and you get to see him what he could do, and he ends up scoring on a 5-yard run. After he rushed for 13 yards. He had a 27-yard pass, little out to the flat, and he took off down the right side. And
Yeah, he's a sophomore. That's nice.
Yeah, Allen goes up 35-20 at half. So you're breathing a little bit easier. It seems now, because you go back and look, you had a couple stops on the defense.
Defense starting to get their
Start to
legs on
settle
it.
in a little bit.
Yep.
Still a lot of mistakes being made, and again, coachable moments.
Yeah. But let's. Let me stand up for him. There were some really good secondary
Stand up
plays.
for him, James.
Stand up,
James.
James.
Do it.
I can't stand up. It's too hard on the knees. But there were a lot of good coverages, and you don't see it because there wasn't like a pickoff, but they broke up a lot of pass plays and from people that not necessarily Sign. I mean, Sign had a good game, but some of these DBs and corners and the safeties had some good play out there.
Yep.
So when we face some of these predominant passing teams that don't have a running back like Plano East does, that's going to have to come in handy. Now we had some blown coverages for touchdowns, but
Again, coachable moments.
yeah, exactly.
And for a first game, I think, and again, you got to remember it's a brand new scheme.
Well, who was it that said that they had butterflies going in?
Zena did.
Zena, yeah.
Oh, butterflies going in.
Yeah. Was that?
Yeah, well, he said he had jitters. Yeah.
Yeah, jitters. Yeah, just a little nervous as to how it's going to go, what's going to happen.
So
It's good.
Allen kicks off to start the second half, and they go back to the pooch kick. And just like Nolan's dating life, the one shows up where it gets fumbled. And
Insert clip.
clip inserted right here.
Number 27.
Emery.
Emery
picked on.
Lassiter,
You're getting picked
whose
on.
mother is a good friend of my wife. In fact, Sherry told us yesterday that she met Katie when she was pregnant with Emery.
Aw.
So she's known Emery his whole life, and if you remember, Emery had an interception in the Hebrew scrimmage.
Yep.
Punt gets fumbled. You see in the clip, it bounces right to him, and the Eagles get the ball. And you're like, whoa.
All right.
was
Momentum.
unexpected.
That's
Momentum,
another
baby.
stop.
It is
Momentum.
another stop. And so they only have to go 35 yards, and Mr. Jenkins on this run,
Oh, jeez.
he starts to the left, he cuts back to the middle, he jumps over somebody, and just
Blowtorch.
yeah, he just wiggles his way into the end zone almost without being touched, and all these bodies are everywhere.
I mean, when we were sitting there and we could see it,
Yeah.
I'm sitting and Mark's right there, and I'm just like going, "What did I just see?"
Even my wife was like, he's still outside. I know, I don't know how he does it, but the vision was so good on that run.
Yeah, how he just went around and
It's like running a maze or something.
Well, don't act real excited.
it's
Al.
amazing.
That was good. And so the Eagles go up 42-20, and you're like, okay, here we go again. And you start to see the little bit of the deflation on the Plano East side, and the excitement, and the student section is no longer hollering, "We want Allen." You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah, you got Al.
Yeah, they were doing that.
Kudos to the defense making those goal line stands that like
Oh
did.
my God!
Fourth and goal, and I mean
Twice.
yeah, and one from the 2
Yep.
stuffed them.
Those are moments that they're going to glean on.
Absolutely.
Glean from.
Absolutely.
Because Plano East got the ball back and did get down there, and they had 3rd and goal from the 1. Actually, they had 2nd and goal from the 3.
Was that where Junior
Yep.
made the best tackle of the game?
Yeah, pretty much.
The guy caught the ball and he just nailed him and drove him out of bounds. That was the best tackle of the game.
Yeah, he popped it.
So 2nd and goal, Monty rushes for 2 to the 1. 3rd and goal, he lost a yard. 4th and goal, they give it to him again. He lost another yard.
Yeah.
And so confidence building for that defense.
Yeah, but did you notice? And I didn't even notice. They put in a different package in there where they had 5 big boys on the defensive line.
You got to give some kudos to the guys
50s.
in the middle. Yeah, the 50 club, like some of us like to be called. We're in the 50s club. 51, 52, 53. You know, which is Williams, Nettles,
Brantley.
and Brantley. Just plug that middle up, and
Yeah, nowhere to go.
Yeah, nowhere to go. And you know, it was fun to see a defense step up like that. And so Allen gets the ball back at the 3-yard line, and I turned to Nolan and I said, it'd be fun to see a 97-yard touchdown run. And so they give the ball to Jenkins, and he rushes for 7. I was like, okay.
Get a little air.
Almost.
Get a little air.
So they
A
give
little
him
bit of room.
About 90 short.
They give him a second chance at it. He grabs the ball, rushes to the right, and it's
Gone.
Church. But yeah, a 90-yard touchdown run for Jenkins, who ends up the night with 203 yards on 9 carries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about it this morning at breakfast. I said he only carried the ball 9 times. It felt like it was a lot
Yeah, it
more
seems
than
like
that.
there was a
it
lot
did.
more than that.
Now, he did have a couple receptions, and he did return kicks, but it's just like, from a rushing perspective, I thought he carried it 15, but he didn't. And 203 yards, a big night for him with a kickoff return, long touchdown run. You know, he had a great night. And to me, that took a lot of pressure off Hawkins, too, because they were never in a position where they were having to play from behind, where the passing game was having to be. So it allowed him to work within the game plan.
And on Hawkins' side, there was a lot of opportunities that he could have just scrambled,
Yeah.
but he was being really patient
Yeah.
and looking for that pass outlet. Maybe a couple times he should have scrambled, but he's showing some real good patience
Yep.
though, and I like seeing that
Yeah.
out of a sophomore quarterback. So
So-
he's
Yeah,
He's doing
early
well.
on, you would rather him err
Put it down. Put it down.
on that side.
Turning it
Then
off.
this his immediate to be. We saw that
You want me to
error.
do it?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
need
we
my
did.
glasses?
The lights on.
And that's just
Nobody's home.
game experience. You know, the more he gets
Yeah, and
experience.
that's what I think makes his ceiling so high is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he wants to be a pass first quarterback.
He does. And he that's good. Now, the good thing is he can run when he needs to.
Yep.
Well, and that's what makes him more dangerous if he tries to stay as a pass.
There-
it's almost like he's luring him in to try and
Absolutely.
tackle him.
That's
And
what,
then, boom,
that's what you
gone.
know who used to do.
You know
I think
who?
this may have happened in the second half, but I don't know if you're going to make mention to it. There was one time where he scrambled out to the left, looked like he was going to run.
Yes.
And he hits 14 on just
Yeah.
a 7-yard
10
little
yard, yeah,
throw it
10
to a
yard.
pass, and
It's
that
awesome.
was great to see.
Yeah.
And one thing I have noticed, even looking at some of his older, last year's film, which isn't a lot, but he really throws really good on the run. He likes to throw.
He's
on
a
the
heads
run.
up scrambler,
And
the one-
unlike some other people.
That
but,
one
yeah.
play where he was coming around the right, and from my angle, I thought he crossed the line of scrimmage, but I guess
It
he
was
got
close.
Yeah.
It was real close.
Yeah.
But, he knew where he was at and where he needed to get rid of the ball. So, but I was like, ooh, no one caught that, I guess.
Yeah, but to keep his eyes downfield that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the payoff because that's when people get open.
Because when you
very
start
true.
running, they start creeping up, and
Yeah.
then you can get it over that first level of defense.
And think of if Zena had jitters. Think of a quarterback that's a sophomore starting.
Yeah.
That's got to worry about all that stuff. I think that's great. Sorry, Dave, I'd interrupt.
No, it's good. Forget it.
And one thing that I
Because Dave did.
Okay, since
was gonna
Grandpa
say
has
is-
nothing to say.
He mentioned about you thought he crossed the line. I thought the referees called a really good game.
I
last
did
night.
too. I thought they played.
No
Usually
no
we have
complaints.
something negative to say. They missed this. They missed
Well,
that.
here's how you know. I didn't think of the referees at all today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else.
Yeah.
We had a couple holding calls. There was a personal foul. Probably was.
Oh yeah, the out of bounds late.
But anything other than that, it didn't seem like they made any. Now, again, there's really only the one controversial pass interference call against East,
Yeah.
which came in the.
That really wasn't controversial.
Yeah, I think.
Well, to them it was.
Well,
you know.
yeah, but
But
look,
again, it's an
our-
underthrow.
Yeah.
Coming back for the ball and you interfere.
when he's
But-
grabbing his pants and like doing
And
that.
dressing him, yeah.
So you look at how many timeouts they had to burn just for to get the play in, and how many delay of games
Plano Least, yeah.
had. It just goes to show you the level of preparation that we had above their ready to play.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
With a lot of new pieces in place, that speaks a lot to the coaches.
Well,
being
and,
able to get it
and
together.
when our local football commentator extraordinaire, Mr. Diggs, Professor Diggs, makes a comment, that's something that he's always said he's always seemed to have an issue with is clock management and time
Yeah.
management.
Well, I think Joey had a good game. I mean, some
For the
great
most part, they're
passes
going to win.
across
They're
the
going
middle.
to they're going to win some
That
games.
they're
team
gonna win
is
some
much
games.
better. To
Yeah.
me, they
Way
were
better.
much better than they were last year.
Yeah.
Especially on the defense too. And they, they've got a legitimate quarterback.
Yeah, that, and we talked about it at our tailgate. Their offensive line played well, and we
Yeah.
noticed one things we were noticing was like they're not that big, but they're definitely disciplined, and
Big
they
enough.
opened up some holes
Big enough.
for Asmati, and I mean he took advantage of it.
Yep.
Obviously,
So Allen's up 49-20. Plano East gets the ball back. They hold them. They punt. Allen gets the ball again. They go down and score
Bing,
again.
bing.
Sibley with another touchdown makes it
Yep.
56-20 for all intents and purposes. Game over. Fourth quarter comes. Plano East.
We got our
scores.
second, third string in.
10
the
legs,
except for
rotations.
quarterback, and I'm like
Yeah.
going, why is he?
And here we have a
still
chance to
in the-
hit 70, and fourth quarter we won't score anything. So
Which is
Yeah, that was the only
Okay.
quarter we didn't score.
So Allen ends up with 519 yards of total offense.
it's nice.
That's an average.
Only 18 first downs, which shows you
How long the
Big
play
plays.
was.
Big play.
big plays were. Yeah. 300 yards rushed, 313 yards rushing, averaged 10.79 yards a rush. That'll win you a lot of games.
Yeah.
206 yards passing. He was 16 of 23, which is good. 9 yards per pass. 7 penalties, not too
Not too bad.
not too
That's
bad.
not bad.
No turnovers,
That's good.
and that's really good.
yeah, keep that up. Don't say anything about no turnovers during a game.
I know.
Wait till the next morning.
Honestly, I started to do that last night with about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. I started turning on and say something. I'm like, zip. I decided not to.
Because I would have slapped you.
Yeah.
And the winner of the discipline award for last
Yeah,
night
exactly.
is Mark.
So Jordan Tyson, Mr. Colorado commit, had a good game, first game. A lot of short intermediate stuff. He did have one long pass to him, then he came back and got for 44 yards, but he had 6 catches. And then they spread it around, which is what I like.
Yeah.
Because if you look, there's 1,
Yeah.
2, 3,
Six,
4,
maybe?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Nine.
8 other people who caught
Wow.
passes.
That's great.
And that's pretty cool, including the mad Russian Steven Gorski.
There was one bubble screen last night that I saw. Just one.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
There was
There's two.
There's two.
But even if there's 2 compared to what we're used to,
Yeah, we
Yeah, at least
survived the whole.
at least it didn't
half of
start every
football.
quarter.
Yeah.
Thad came at halftime said there wasn't one single bubble screen in the first half. I was like, you're right, there wasn't.
They caught up with it in the second half.
Yeah. But way to go, Coach. We appreciate
A
that.
lot of stuff over the middle, 7, 8 yard routes that put you in a great position for second
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
It makes it real simple. So overall, a pretty good start. I think.
I mean, yeah.
Again, Plano East. That's now 22 in a row.
Years.
They'll be so glad not to be on Allen's schedule. next
Someone,
year.
David Hinojosa, I can't even say his name.
Hinojosa.
Yeah, and Diggs. Is Allen still trying to claim Plano City champions? And I was ready to get on there and go. Well, it seems we still are. After that game, I'm like, golly.
Next week,
Next week,
state-ranked Atascocita comes to town again.
the fun begins.
I talked to Jackson Newville after the game last night, and he said it's going to be tough. He goes, but we got revenge. I said, why? He goes, well, they're the ones that gave us COVID last year. I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was how it happened, but
Yeah.
that's what
Yep.
I was told last night. I was like, interesting. So Because you remember that next week we had to cancel Cedar Hill.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Don't be bringing your infections up and.
Atascocita won big. They played Klein Collins. I think
Yeah.
somebody looked it up and beat them like 56-7 or something on Thursday
Perennial
night.
green team.
So they're coming up. The rest of the district this week still got one game pending.
One game tonight.
Did quite well.
McKinney plays Springdale Arbear
Yep.
tonight. But the rest of the stinking district wasn't even close.
No.
You go down the list. Prosper beat South Bend Prairie on Thursday night.
34-19.
Braswell last night. I just went totally blank on who they played. I got it written here, but I can't read my own writing. MH. Who would MH be?
Well, if you had the Football
I
Friday app
know.
on,
But they won 49-10.
Little Elm smoked last night too.
Yeah. Little Elm won
And
56-10 over LD Bell.
Gara beat Hebron 46-17.
Yeah, and I'm still not sold on Hebron. Everybody seems
No.
high on them, but I was not.
Successful 7-on-7 doesn't equate to a successful season.
It does not.
Yeah. According to somebody, it's just basketball without the big boys.
That's right.
So I was not at all impressed in the scrimmage, and I think, they
definitely
should-
wasn't impressed with number 17.
Mr. Hothead.
Yeah. Denton Geyer beat Hebron. Little Elm won. And here's McKinney Boyd
Yeah.
beat
Midwest City,
Midwest
Oklahoma.
City, Oklahoma.
37-0. And Midwest City's a pretty good guy. I used to live in Oklahoma. Midwest City's one of those
Ooh,
Oklahoma
admit that?
powers. I'm married in Oklahoma too. So
Braswell beat Mesquite Horn
Mesquite Horn. Okay.
There you go.
49-10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's a decisive
So
victory.
the district went undefeated this week.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about it. I think we talked about it last week's podcast or the week before. Is this district isn't as it's starting to step up,
Yeah.
which is good for you as you prepare for playoffs, because that was always the talk when we were with all the Plano schools was
Oh, the District of Doom.
you've never been
Oh.
tested until you
Yeah.
get to the playoffs, and so these guys are.
Yep.
Everybody else is stepping up, so that's good.
Did Richardson forfeit last night?
No, they played.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay. They just didn't show up.
They didn't score.
Didn't
score,
Somebody
but they
forgot
played.
to tell the offense they were playing tonight.
Exactly.
Well, and if we go to that next level, we've got coaches
Aw.
that have left Allen.
Plano lost.
Alfred went to Rowlett, and Kane went to Sherman, and Fleener went to Forney. And how did they do?
How did they do?
How did they do? How do you do, Coach
well, we
Fleener?
will shout out to Coach Fleener.
Congratulations.
Took a team that did not win a game last year, that took on the Kyle Westerberg-led White House team last night, and
Which is a good team.
they were predicted to lose by quite a bit.
Yeah, 3 to 5 touchdowns, and
And the Jackrabbits went to White House and pulled the upset, 21-20.
So it was White House.
Yeah.
fear the
And
Jackrabbits.
Jack
baby.
with the Jackrabbits.
Two former Allen ISD coaches.
That's right. And Fleener just said, "Who's your daddy?" and he didn't mean Tom.
Yeah.
So
And then Rowlett lost to Waxahachie.
what was that score?
Waxahachie 28, Rowlett 22.
Close game.
Yep, and then Sherman.
Probably one too many bubble screens.
Sherman lost to Denison. That's a
It's a
tough
big
game.
rivalry game.
Good Denison team.
That'd be
Yeah, the
great to
battle
go
of
back
the
and
battle
watch
of
that
the
game.
axe.
Google it.
Yeah.
And see if there was.
How many?
Count how
Don't
many
ask me.
bubble screens there were.
So Denison beat Sherman 37-13.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's. Kane will get them together. They'll be better.
So,
Better
best
be
of
better
luck
by
to
the
those
time we
guys.
go see one
That's
of their
a
games.
storied rivalry there, Denison and Sherman.
Mater D beat Duncanville 45-3.
Yeah, then Mater Day beat.
What's the
Duncanville
matter?
45
What's the
to
matter?
6.
What's the matter with that?
Mater D, I don't give a crap how you say it.
But that was probably, to me, the
California.
biggest surprise
That
of
was
the night,
shocking.
that Duncanville didn't rep more. But then again,
They got dominated.
Supposedly that team has got 7 of the top 10
no, they've got
recruits.
4 of the top 100 on the ESPN.
Oh, I thought it was 7.
No, 4.
Well, that's ESPN and maybe 7
But
some
like
other.
Diggs said, if you read the dump I love
But
reading the
don't.
dump.
It's like 3 hours of
I know,
Twitter.
Professor Diggs just goes
Twitter
nuts.
It's impressive while he's sitting on the
But he goes,
toilet doing it.
Yeah, no
I'm
kidding.
tired of people saying, these teams are loaded. When you look at the DF or the Dallas Morning News Top 100, and Duncanville has 12 players on there. So
Yeah.
it's not like Duncanville doesn't have quality
true.
players. Now,
And it's not like they don't have a great coach, too. Come on.
I
What was some of y'all were doing last night?
Crickets. What?
I don't know what to make of Reggie because I think there's a lot of coaches, given that talent level, would make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You give Todd Dodge that.
You give Joey McGuire that.
You give
Oh
Joey.
my gosh.
Joey had those people at Cedar Hill.
Oh,
And, was
fine-tuned, fine old
You
machine.
give
You
Joseph that.
give,
down
give Alford that?
Yes, but
Oh, never mind.
the reality, it's apples to oranges. I mean, these guys, that California team,
Are we in Florida?
they recruit.
They do, but it's not like everybody there's a recruit.
Well, yeah, but there's certain.
They should win a lot of games,
Yes.
but they shouldn't beat Duncanville 46-6.
Well, but Plano East has had a lot of talent year over year, and they haven't been able to get it to gel.
And it's
I mean,
the first
Yeah,
game of the
it's
year.
true.
Who
They've had some
knows?
pretty good talent.
Duncanville might have just, had their
I like
finger in their
up their
nose.
I don't know what to make of it. I mean, it was obviously not pretty for Duncanville.
Very shocking.
Yeah, I think everybody was like,
Motivational.
But kudos to Duncanville because last year they played IMG.
Yeah.
And then they play. Be nice for we latch onto a big matchup next year somehow.
Boy,
I
that'd
wish,
be
I wish
something,
we
wouldn't
could,
it?
man.
See if they
Who
can
can make that happen?
us.
We can make it happen.
We get on started now.
We
Yeah.
can make it
See
happen.
what we can do.
Right here, right now, Allen challenges the best 22 players from California to simulate a team and come to Allen. We'll play you.
Simulated team.
That would be something.
A simulated team.
We can only dream.
So, 1-0, Atascocita next week. The district's looking good, picking up. A shout out to our buddy Chris Cumnock for
Put on a good performance.
good job last night. We saw him several times during the day yesterday as he was scrambling around making
He was a
everything
busy
happen.
man.
He was.
He got sponsors.
He did get sponsors.
did.
He did a good job. Raising a lot of money. A pretty good crowd last night. So hopefully.
Hopefully tonight's crowd's good.
Speaking of which,
I'm interested.
I think
if I have
so-
time.
Argyle's playing who?
Nolan
Nolan
Catholic.
Catholic. Nolan
Which is
Catholic's got 2
not
5-star
scrubs.
defensive linemen.
We gotta go online to get those tickets too, right?
Yeah,
That
Probably.
That's a good question. I don't know.
So
You might be able to.
anybody interested? 7:00 at the stadium tonight. Nolan Catholic in Argyle.
Buy a ticket, support the scholarships.
Parking is $5.
Unless you go out by the
Word of wisdom:
Tennis
just
court.
park
Tennis
across the
courts.
street and walk, and it doesn't cost you a thing.
Just
Yeah.
park over by the
Tennis
tennis
courts.
courts.
get a little
Yeah.
exercise. Come on.
It's not that far of a walk.
And you get out quicker.
Yeah,
You
do.
can do it.
Cut through the old Allen Station.
So,
Kirby Road.
shout out to the band last night. Looked good. First,
Loud and proud.
loud and proud. And-
Obato had them rocking.
Obato.
And Plano, he's called a couple of timeouts.
Yeah.
And the band just kept holding the note and holding the note. And I'm like, yeah, they're going to run out of wind. But then they start back up. It was funny.
Obato went back to his Florida State roots, and they've incorporated Uprising
Oh my
in their
gosh.
in their repertoire now. I was like, pretty cool.
Student section.
Student
They
section.
were taunting like crazy.
And-
Not only were they taunting, they were there.
Yeah.
There and color coded.
And color coordinated.
And color coded.
And
Yeah,
pregame,
red, white, and blue. That was pretty awesome.
pregame
Cool.
gathering next to our
Oh,
tailgate was pretty
pregame
Pregame
Bible
Bible study.
Bible
There
study.
was a
Bible study. That was
study.
cool.
It was awesome to
You
see
kids
doing
are doing it right. Thank you.
that. So all of
That
you who
was.
showed up for that, kudos.
My
And if
boy
you know
said-
anybody who did that,
Bryce Rook,
do
do a
it.
shout out. He's one of the kids from our church that was over there.
We're proud of
kinda
y'all.
leading it.
That was cool.
You were going to say something?
Well, my boy said that the kid that was leading the Bible study in the overalls was like the president of the student section.
Good.
Something, something.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
Well, cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kudos to them.
They kind of organize it and have a cheerleader,
Yell leader.
Oh,
a
yeah,
yell leader.
leader.
I mean, yeah.
Song girl.
A song girl. So
South
anyhow,
Pacific.
lots of good stuff going on. Yesterday morning they had the Breakfast with Champions at the facility.
Yeah.
That's
Parents
got to
come and
work
have
out
breakfast
better next week.
with the kids. What was that?
That's got to work out better next week.
Yeah, they had a medical emergency right after the prayer. It's just like Alan and I are sitting out the tailgate.
There's nothing
here,
off limits.
Here come the fire trucks. We're like, who's hurt? You know, and
What happened?
the individual is okay. We talked to Matt Russell, the principal. Everybody's fine, so that's good. But it was obviously scary for everybody in there.
The blood must have just drained out of Morris's head. Just like, oh, really?
Why am I here?
Jeez.
He's like, why am I here?
I should have stayed on my bulldozer.
Yeah, exactly.
The Caterpillar.
Just push dirt around.
Exactly.
And what do we have a golf outing coming up soon?
Oh, there is. For those of you interested in playing golf, on the 18th, the Touchdown Club annual golf tournament
Plug.
starts at 8 o'clock at Waters Creek. You can go online to the Touchdown Club Facebook page or, AlanTDC.com,
Yes, sir.
and sign up, sponsor, whatever you want to do. Come out and have a good time. We played in that the last several years. It's always been fun. The Fun Zone, is that what it's called? Eagle Zone.
Eagle Zone.
Started yesterday. It was hot, so I think attendance might have been down a little bit because of that.
It was kind of sandwiched in between the facility and the.
So now, what
and
is
the
this exactly?
Ball fields.
What is it exactly?
Yeah, is this just pre-game?
Pre-game,
Fun zone?
It's 5 to 6:30 on every home game, and they'll have bounce houses. They'll have food. Speaking of which, the chef from Blue, and I apologize right now because it's been a couple of years since I talked to him. Showed up yesterday.
Pajama pants.
He is awesome.
He had look like well, I was trying to look.
Blue.
I
He
know
is
those
out
were
there
chef clothes, but
cooking.
look like pajama
Yeah.
pants.
And the guy does incredible meals. So if you want to come get something to eat before the game,
You can't beat it. It's great.
you don't want Chick-fil-A or whatever they serve in the stadium, come see him. He had
Yeah,
his
that's
two
a
flat
trash.
tops out there yesterday, and he brought us
10
some,
pounds of.
yeah, macaroni, homemade, Blue-made macaroni and cheese with jalapeno sausage, which barbecue sauce on it. It was fat. It was
Excelente.
Oh, there you go.
so.
Muy excelente.
Feel free to come get some food from that group because they do a really good job, and the kids are out there helping. And so that's every home game. Again, yesterday, first game's always hectic. There's so much going on and everything, so everybody had a lot going on. Thanks to Randy Bridges for a great Tuffy tune again this
Yeah,
week.
that was
Yeah,
fantastic.
this week's going to be a real good
Your
one.
work is highly appreciated.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to next week's the Eagles on the Eagles. See what
Taking
happens.
on Houston.
Yep. Does anybody have anything else?
I think we've said just about all that we need to.
We
Oh,
want
well,
to.
Except for
Alan kept bringing up yesterday, earlier on, talking about our freshman team. Looked really, really good. So for
Oh, my
those of
heavens.
y'all thinking and worrying about what's in the pipeline,
Pipeline went 4-0 this week between
Man.
two JVs and two freshman teams. They all won. They all won big. And Alan says the freshman teams are loaded.
the freshman team looks like a varsity team.
Some
Freshman
30-year-old out
team
there or
looks like a
something?
varsity team.
There you go. Which is good. We
Yeah.
need varsity teams.
I mean, there's one kid, number 82, looks like he's 30 years old. Got a full beard. Jeez, what is he, 13?
Did he really have a beard?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I had a beard at 13.
You're making up for it now, though.
Yeah, dude. It's an exchange program.
I've never heard it called that before.
Right.
We're going to put this out there. We're going to do a separate podcast on this because it requires significant time and explanation. But
Yeah.
there's a bond package coming up on the November election. It's 2 athletic bonds, one for turf, basically, for all the fields. Keep laughing down there. I'm not sure what you're laughing about.
I just want to say something here in a minute.
And then the other one is for renovation of facilities and the addition of
Just maintenance.
maintenance and an installation of a track at Ford, which Ford does not have a track. And there's a lot to be said about this from the perspective of educating people on why this bond is out, why it has to be done this way, why it's needed. The district has put it out there, but the district is only allowed to put out information. They can't promote it
Advocate.
one way or the other.
Yeah, promote
Advocate it. But
And they also are they are bound to put wording in there that may be misconstrued.
Yes, by the state as far as related to taxes.
Related to taxes.
And tax increases. So we are going to do a podcast regarding that bond package and to give you all the information you need to make an informed decision on how that affects you, what it does for the kids of the district, and just to get you information that maybe you can't find anywhere else. We've talked to several people about it. We have a pipeline to those that are putting it together, so we'll know the ins and the outs of it, and we're going to put that together here in the next few weeks. So be on the lookout for that, and if you're a registered voter in the city of Allen come November, please go vote.
Well, Allen ISD.
Yes.
It's Allen ISD covers a couple cities.
That is true.
Yeah, McKinney up there, a little.
Yeah. And so
Little
those of you who
Fairview.
can vote, we'll give you our thoughts on it when we do that podcast. But wanted to put that out there. You could start looking for your own information on it.
Yeah, so there was one play in particular last night where the receiver makes a cut and slipped. His feet went out from under him and hit the deck,
Yep.
and it got quiet, and I yelled, "That's why we need to pass the bond."
Because the stadium is due
the
for new
turf
turf.
is-
That turf,
Turf is
it's-
9-10 years old,
and
and
it's like playing on concrete.
hard as a rock.
Yep.
You think it's all cushy and
You can't
all the
refurbish
nubbles
that.
and
No.
It's lost its grip,
Yep.
the field part of the turf,
Yep.
and
So
before
one of the
somebody
big-
blows a knee out.
Yep.
And the biggest misconception is that Allen spends all this money on athletics and doesn't spend anything on, teachers and so forth. The reality of it is that it's less than
88% of the
2.8%.
2.8% was of the entire budget is spent on athletics. The rest of it is spent on.
and that's athletics,
Non-athletic
softball,
things. So,
volleyball, basketball.
When people
football,
sit there and
everything.
say, "Well, all you do is spend money," and granted, a lot of people on social media don't even live in the district and have no idea, they're just complaining.
no,
Yeah, and-
Shocker, they're trolls.
and we either do this now, or we can start looking at our facilities looking like the
Yeah,
DISD.
looking like a DISD or
Well, and the turf
other
is going to
low-
cause
low
injuries
income,
to kids.
low income
and
districts.
I don't want
mean,
to see kids
well,
injured.
South Oak Cliff just renovated and
So we'll
remodeled
talk
their
about this on
school
that
after
next
about
podcast.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's a
What?
teaser.
40
Back it
years.
down.
4
Save
years.
it. We'll use it all.
Shut them down.
But yeah,
Less
you're
of
right.
this and more of this.
It's needed, and we'll explain all to everybody who's interested in listening to us. So, all right, guys,
Six of it.
week 1 under our belts. Everybody's happy this weekend. College football starts today.
Yes, sir.
Landry Classic again tonight. Argyle and Nolan Catholic, 7:00 at the stadium.
I'm not Catholic, by the way.
Who asked?
They named that school after you, Nolan.
Nolan's
That came out of nowhere.
Nolan's going to lose.
So,
Proctology College.
thanks for listening. So, folks, until next time, it's over, and we are
Out of here.